All right, so in this one, we're going to be talking about retainers, right? Specifically, how to turn your existing clients into monthly retainers. So you might, have retainers already, or you might have no idea what a retainer even is, right? So we're going to be covering that in this video. Now, if you're new here, my name's Knox. I help beginner videographers to actually get their business up and running. So, there's lots of people you might, be in the same boat where you have the video skills, you just don't understand the business side of it. You don't know how to get clients to actually pay you for your services. So I'm trying to provide as much free, valuable content here on YouTube as possible. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So first things first, why should you actually be using a retainer model? Well, the big thing here is, the first off is stable income. Right. So if you're not familiar with how retainers work, it's basically a client who keeps coming back, usually on a monthly basis to pay you for your work. Right. So this can allow you to, if you're working a 9 to 5, if you're working a job right now, this is honestly what you should be pushing for, because that's what's going to allow you to go all in on your video business and do this full time. Because without retainer clients, you're going to have inconsistent income, which means you can't really predictably go all in on this. Right? The reason you're probably at a job is because you have stable, consistent income. This is what retainers are going to do for you. Okay. So yeah, like I was saying here, if you're stuck in a 9 to 5, you're stuck in a 9 to 5 because you want stable income. That's what I was saying here. Okay. In fact, I don't even recommend you leave your 9 to 5 job until you actually have retainer clients locked in, right? Via a signed contract. Because, if you don't have a contract in place, they can just leave whenever. So, this is really what we're going to be talking about today. It's how you can actually get stable income from your video clients. You want people paying you every single month. Because honestly, if you don't really have a stable business, right? And like I said, I wouldn't recommend you leave the stability of a job to go in on this, right? Because then you just have to find another job when you have these super inconsistent months. And that's what a lot of videographers are doing. They're just relying on word of mouth, and they don't have any retainer clients coming back every single month to pay them. They're just, leaving it up to chance. And that's why most people can't go all in. Right. So that's the big thing here is stable income. Second is just you can actually get better client results. So, I see it as a win-win. You get stable income, and also the clients, they're actually going to get better results. Okay. So by building a long-term content strategy, you'll be able to get your clients better results. And when you get your client results, you get paid. So like I was saying, I see it as a win-win. So the reason this actually works is because, if you're to just create one video for a client, chances are they might, they probably just won't see as good of results versus if you were to create content for them every single month on a consistent basis. This could be daily, weekly, monthly content, right? So your clients will see better results by giving them more content, right? That's just basic facts, right? They say content is king, and I completely agree. All the big, entrepreneurs, all these businesses who are doing really well, they have their content dialed in. So there's a lot of money to be made with video marketing, which means, like I'm saying, you can make a lot of money, but they can also make a lot of money too. Because if you're not getting them results, they're not going to make any money, which means they won't be able to pay you, and you won't make any money for your videos. So like I'm saying, it's a win-win. You can get them better results, which means they make more money, which means they can pay you more money, which means you can put more money into projects to create better videos to get them better results. It's just a cycle. All right. So that's the big thing here as far as why you should be using the retainer model, right? Like I'm saying, if you don't have retainer clients, I wouldn't even recommend you go all in on this, right? This is how you're going to get consistent income. And this is what all the big videographers understand, right? Most beginners, they might not even know about this. That's why I'm trying to create these free videos just to help, a complete beginner out. All right. So next up, we're going to be talking about turning your existing clients into monthly retainers. Okay. So I'll just open all this up real quick. So first off, step one is basically just calling up your existing clients or your past clients after a one-off project. Because here's the deal. In general, I found, when I've gotten people on retainer, they don't sign a 6-month contract right off the bat. They need some time to build up trust with you. They want to see some of your work, how it performs. I get that, right? And that's what the businesses are going to want. So usually I like to do, one or two one-off projects with them, and then I'll call them up and ask them like, look, did these videos actually get you results? In general, it's going to be a yes. And at that point, you can just pitch them on a monthly retainer service. In general, I found social media is a great retainer service that you can pitch, because most people, they need social media content, and social media isn't just like you you post once and then you're done. It's a long-term game. You consistently need content. So that's something I always recommend. Is like, if you can find a way to pitch a social media package, retainer package that makes sense for, these clients, full send it. That's a great way to get a consistent income coming in. Okay. Lastly is just to get a contract signed. So as I was saying earlier, if you don't have a contract in place, you won't actually be able to guarantee, income coming in, right? They might just say, yeah, we've had enough, we're done, or we don't see the value in it. So they just leave you. You don't want to do that. You want to be able to plan for the future. You want to know that you have consistent income coming in. And that's what a contract is going to do for you. So I've got a contract template. I want to say it's in the school community. I'll link that below. But yeah, feel free to pick that up. That's going to be huge, right? You always want to be using contracts, not just for that, right? Also, so you can, protect yourself, as in, let's say a client wants 100 revisions, if you didn't write that out in a contract, they can do that, and it's just gonna be an absolute pain. So you can spell things out so there's not confusion, and it's just easier for both parties. All right. Next is creating a retainer package. So at this point, you're like, okay, I understand I need to get retainer clients. I understand how to get them, right? Like I was saying, you just need to call up your existing network. Most of you watching this should at least have some past clients. You can upsell and pitch them on a retainer package. But at this point now, you're probably wondering, like, what do I actually offer them, right? How do I create a retainer package? So big thing here is actually just to, like I was saying in the last slide, is you have to understand their goals, right? If you're creating a content strategy that doesn't align with their goals, they won't get results and you won't get paid. I just want to keep coming back to that. So, you have to understand their goals. So I've talked about this in previous videos. I don't know which one, but basically the call structure that I follow is a discovery call, strategy call, agreement call. So discovery call is just to figure out their current situation and their desired situation, right? Now, instead of going for the sale right on that first call, you actually do two calls. So discovery call to understand, like I said, their current situation and their desired situation. Then you schedule a second call where you actually pitch a video strategy that aligns with those goals, right? And like I'm saying, if you don't understand their goals, you won't be able to create the right strategy. So that call structure is huge. But after you understand their goals, you kind of just want to reverse engineer what's already working, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel, because chances are, if you're pitching a brand, there's another brand out there who is doing what the brand you're pitching is actually trying to do, right? There's successful brands out there who have successfully used video marketing to achieve the same goal that you're trying to pitch, your client on. All right. So basically, it's as simple as just reverse engineering what's already working. So you can look at things like their ads library, right? I took a screenshot here. Most people don't even know about this. You can literally go into, it's facebook.com/ads library, and you can basically see what ads brands are actually running. So you can put, a brand name in here. It's generally their Facebook account. So you just put their Facebook account in here and open it up, and you can see what ads are actually running. That's huge, because you can actually see, what their competitors are doing, and then reverse engineer those ads and pitch them to your client. So you can do, Facebook ads, you can look at their website content, you can look at their social media content, etc. Right? So really just, reverse engineer what's already working. Like I said, you don't have to know exactly what content strategy to put together, right? All you have to know is what their goal is, and then you just find someone else who's already doing that, and just have a basic understanding of, what content does, like where you place it and how it gets the best results. So like I'm saying, if you need website sales, you're probably not going to pitch, an Instagram reel, right? Because that's more built, more for building up engagement, interacting with the community, right? If you want website sales, you'll probably, need Facebook or ads in general to get traffic. And then if you need more conversions, you might create like a landing page video, right? I'm just coming up with examples off the top of my head, but basically you want to make sure you're creating the right content and you're putting it in the right place to get them the best results, right? Because as I always say, if you don't help them get results, they're not going to see the value in it. They're not going to pay you. So you really have to align your content with their goals. And the way you can do that is figuring out what's already working, reverse engineer it, and then pitch that to them. Okay. Next is keeping them on retainer. So after you have retainer clients, after you've called up your existing network, you've pitched them on a strategy, you've created a strategy, how do you actually keep them on retainer, right? So let's say they sign for 3-6 months. Then after that 6 months is up, you want to make sure they sign it again, right? So you have, more work down the road, because, you want to keep them on retainer. That's just pretty simple. That way you have more consistent income down the road, right? So some notes I wrote down that have helped me, that I've actually implemented, are first off, to stay in regular contact and to ask for feedback. And basically the reason I do that is just because, if you're constantly asking for feedback, they can't really, fire you or stop working with you when you've literally asked them, what can I improve? What can I do better? Like, how can I help you, achieve your goals the best, right? When you're constantly asking for feedback and staying in contact with them, just staying in the loop with them, it's going to be harder for them to say, oh, but we're letting you go because we wanted this. Even though, at this point, you should have already asked them what they want, what they're trying to do with this content, how it's performing, stuff like that. So stay in regular contact and ask for feedback. Next is just to generally be a fun guy to be around, right? If you're just, not that exciting, if you're just boring, you can be replaced easily, they might do that, right? So just be a fun guy to be around. And you can also do things like birthday gifts. So in general, when I onboard people, they fill out like a form and I get their birthday, right? Once you have their birthday, I have a separate calendar for my client birthdays, and I'll just add those in there, right? So then I can see, hey, it's client, A's birthday. I'll shoot them, send them a gift, or I'll shoot them a text message, or maybe, include some free content as a gift. So, birthday gifts are great. Make sure you keep track of your clients' birthdays. And lastly is just to produce content that actually gets results. Going back to what I keep saying, like, if you'll get them results with your content, there's no reason they wouldn't keep, working with you, because they should be getting a good return on their investment. Otherwise, they're wasting money. You're not doing what you should be doing, and it makes sense. They'd go with someone else. So, obviously this doesn't mean you take all the responsibility for whether the content performs. I've talked about this previously, as in, a lot of videographers are like, okay, how do I actually know my content is going to get results? And it's actually pretty simple. You don't know specifically, exactly that your content will get results, but you know that you have the best strategy in place to help them get there, right? And there's a lot of variables that you don't need to take responsibility for. Things like, their product or service, things like their marketing, right? So what I like to say, it's like if you have, two cars that are racing, one of them is a old Nissan with an F1 racer. One of them is a, $2 million Bugatti, but there's a 2-year-old in it, right? Chances are the old Nissan is actually going to win because it has a good driver. So it's the same concept there for videos. You can literally use this example when you're pitching your videos. It's like, use that example. You might have the best content, the best content, but if your marketing is bad, it's not going to get results. Same thing there. It's like, you might have a Bugatti, but if you have a 2-year-old driving it, you're probably not going to stand a chance against the F1 racer. All right. So same concept there. There's a lot of variables, and you don't have to take responsibility for whether or not it gets the best results. But what you can do, right, and this is what I'm talking about, you can make sure you have the best strategy to help them get there, right? And just that, and convincing them of that, is going to allow you to make sure they get results, right? So that's it for this one. Hopefully this kind of answers at least some basic questions that you have about retainers. Obviously, you might have questions, so feel free to reach out to me via Instagram. So that's it for this video. If I've earned your trust, top link in the description if you want to, get one-on-one coaching. Like I said, there's a lot of videographers out there who they have the skills, but they just, the videography skills, they just don't have the business skills, right? They don't know how to do things like this. They don't know how to get high-paying retainer clients to, chase them and actually, charge what they're actually worth as a videographer. There's so many videographers out there who are just undercharging for their services. So that's it for this one. I'll catch you next time. Peace.